I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm walking through a tunnel of piss, pus, and God knows what else. I'm on my way to see Godzilla Minus One at the IMAX. I'm slowly approaching it, and you can see here my badass Godzilla t-shirt, which arrived today from Amazon, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, man, this is alright. I'm outside the IMAX. Check this out. Godzilla Minus One makes me appreciate Japan even more. In fact, I would say this week, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to be going on to Deliveroo and ordering a shit ton of Japanese food to shovel my face into, because Japanese food is rather exquisite.
Oh, Mr. Godzilla, I'm wearing your t-shirt. I think you're fabulous. But listen, while you're causing distraction and mayhem in Tokyo, do you mind telling me how you're going to pay for the damages? Huh?
Godzilla, that lovable goofball who gets into many fistfights with Mothra and Mechagodzilla and King Kong, where he gives him a southpaw right in the chops. Oh yes, Godzilla, turning 70 years old this year as he did on the 3rd of November. Godzilla, the very cute megalodonian monster who rises from the ocean at the press of a button.
30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla.
Takes out the latest monster of the week or year, considering when those films come out, and then on his merry way he goes. Except this is not the version of Godzilla that you might be expecting. So any cute or cuddly expectations you might have, you better put those away, because get ready to be terrified, to be awestruck, to have your senses numbed to the very core of your being. And also, this serves as a time to remember that countries like Japan can actually make exceedingly great movies and don't have to rely on Hollywood to give them a paycheck. And in fact, Hollywood, if you're watching this video, and I know some of you out there will be, and I tell you what, if there are any writers or producers who want to get in contact with me, I will not name, I will not shame you, but I will disclose with some delicacy, because I am a delicate wallflower, ladies and gentlemen, what you have told me after you've been verified. But without further ado, folks, let me tell you about my adventures last night in the wonderful world of the IMAX cinema. Yes, it's been a long time, probably about a year since I've actually left my doors to go to the IMAX, and it was like trudging through the trenches of a world war, because if you don't know the route to the IMAX cinema, folks, it's in the iconic Waterloo district of London. You have to come out of the train station, go through some underground tunnels which smell of piss, dog shit, and maybe the occasional disinfectant when the cleaning crews can get out of there. And once you pass that cesspit of absolute horridity, you find yourself in the open arms of the IMAX cinema, who, like a beautiful blonde with big tits, welcomes you in to her abode. And once inside, I was not surprised by the turnout of people who came to see this paid preview at the IMAX. It was quite an incredible feat. In fact, little story, I only booked my ticket last Saturday. In fact, when I went online, there was only about 7 seats left, and I got seat number F22, and it was a pretty good positioning. I enjoyed it. First time ever in the history of my going to the IMAX since 2008 that I sat in that near the front row, and it was a pretty awesome view, ladies and gentlemen. And before the film actually started, we had 2 lovely ladies who I believe were the event producers, because this was a special paid preview laid out by Anime I think Anime UK and Toho Productions. Again, guys and girls, happy 70th birthday to your beloved creature from the depths of the oceans. And they were telling us a few things about the film, how much money it's made already in the States. In fact, already I think it's made $34 million domestically in the US. And so it's actually more than doubled its $15 million budget. I shit you not. Look on IMDb, $15 million. And actually, that reminds me of another film that I really enjoyed and also in my collection, Upgrade from 2018, starring the great Logan Marshall Green. That movie from Australia cost only $3 million to make, but it looks like something that cost $20 million. It's insane. So why you've got the over-budgeted MCU films making, or rather producing a marketing budget of $100 million on top of the already inflating budget of the movie itself, which I think with the Marvels was around $300 million altogether. I mean, it does put a lot of what has been said already to shame. What have I said before on this channel? If you're given less money to deal with to make your project come true, you're going to use more of an imagination to make your dreams come true, right, folks? Now, the director of this movie, Takashi Yamazaki, is an amazing dude. I mean, he's a visual artist, basically visual effects designer. The fact that he wrote and directed this movie and obviously in charge of the overall VFX, Victoria Alonso, I'm glad you were gotten rid of from Marvel, because you have no idea, love, what VFX actually stands for. And when you see what they look like in this film here, your mind will be absolutely blown out of its socket, along with your eyes and everything else. This Godzilla, by the way, is an absolute savage. I think the only person who could take him on is Conan the Barbarian, but where the hell is he when you need him? And yes, the film is set between 1945 to 1947, and the reason why it's called Godzilla Minus One, because Japan has just been decimated by 2 nuclear bombs, one in Hiroshima, one in Nagasaki, and apart from being now a completely ground zeroed environment, a new threat arises from the fallout of the nuclear waste. His name, of course, is Godzilla, and he seems to have this periodic cycle where he rises from the ocean, goes on land, causes destruction, and gets bigger with each visit, which sounds like my regular trips to the showers after a saucy session, if you know what I mean. I have no idea who the actors and actresses are, but they do bring some incredible... Put it this way, they never phone in a performance. They're just all remarkable. The guy who plays the kamikaze pilot, just fantastic. The way this guy starts out, you think he's a complete coward, but it's all about the hero's journey, folks. And oh my gosh, he takes into his fold a mother and her very sweet daughter, Akiko. And I've got to say, the kid actress who plays her is just adorable. I don't have kids of my own, but if I did, I'd want them just to be like her, because she was so adorbs. At the very beginning of that introduction by the IMAX presenters, now while you will like the film for its magnificence, you know, please take time to care about the humans. I'm paraphrasing what she's saying there, but honestly, she's not wrong, because when you watch god shit awful American Godzilla interpretations like the Gareth Edwards 2014 version, which, you know, I did like it at the time, but there was too much emphasis on the humans who we didn't care about. Aaron Taylor Johnson acting like a piece of wood against Elizabeth Olsen, and then you had the consequential sequels later on with the insufferable, infuriating Millie Bobby Brown. Let's face it, she was great for a couple of seasons of Stranger Things, became a producer, then decided to desecrate the Sherlock Holmes franchise by giving us Enola Holmes, not Enola Gay, and totally ruining that for everybody else. Thank you, Nancy Springer, for bringing that literary abomination to life. And yeah, we don't care about those particular people in those American versions, but here in the all original Japanese version, man oh man, I mean, it pulls at your heartstrings. It's about friendship, camaraderie, getting together, revenge, remembering what's out there in the future for you, it's just mind-blowing how Mr. Yamazaki put this together is incredible. By the way, I have to give you a bit of a warning here, folks. Disney are talking to Yamazaki, or have touted the idea that he could make a Star Wars film for them. Now, as my good friend Drunk 3PO has said, yeah, allow him to do it, but just let him do what he wants. Don't get any Western actors to come in and direct them, because he won't have a clue what to do with them. Just make a Japanese Star Wars, and I bet you any money it makes more money than The Force Awakens altogether. The special effects, the minimal special effects that you have on the CGI is incredible. I've never seen special effects look that good. I mean, there's one moment where you've got this Japanese warship called the Taiko, Takao, that has a fight with Godzilla, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's like you're on the side of the ship, you don't give a fuck about Godzilla, and I won't say how that ends, but man, for the moments we had of that, it was just mind-blowingly so good. Like the decimation of Japan and the image of the kamikaze's girlfriend's face in the train as Godzilla looms towards her. I mean, she's never heard of Godzilla until a certain point in the film. And I mean, the kind of question she asks herself is that Godzilla? I'm thinking, no, honey, it's the tax man coming to get his latest rebate from you. I mean, yes, of course it's Godzilla. Who else do you think it's going to be? But her shocked expression is incredible. The reflection of Godzilla against the train window is just one of the best images I've seen in cinema. And yeah, I mean, there are some messages that some modern day feminists would have a real issue with, despite the fact it's a period piece set in Japan between 1945 to 1947. One of those is that she decides to actually work in an office as a clerk. Good for her, I say, because she doesn't need to do domestic duties in the house anymore. Again, some feminists will probably cheer that idea, but then something else later on happens which will probably infuriate them even further. What is that? Well, I can't tell you right now. You'll have to go and watch the film and see for yourself, but you know exactly what it is when you get to that point. And I will say that this film, I have to go and see it again. I may not necessarily watch it again at the IMAX because the tickets are rather inflated, and of course that cinema is about 13 double-decker buses high. And I will say by the very end, I did shed a tear. I did, and it was for happy reasons, not sad. I will stress that right now. I would also suggest as well that you do watch Shin Godzilla. Now, I would probably call it an unofficial sequel. This was released in 2016, and holy shit, this movie is incredible as well. In fact, I would say the first 15 minutes of Shin Godzilla will absolutely subvert your expectations. Not the way that Hollywood does, but you'll be like, oh my god. And of course, you've got a really smoking hot stack show of a female in there who I think is an American representative to become the next female president, but she's Japanese, and I was mesmerized by her because she was absolutely a delight to behold. So Godzilla Minus One, it's out on the 15th of December in the UK. I watched it 10 days before that, which is an incredible thing. So thank you to the IMAX for having a paid preview for people to attend. In fact, when I booked my ticket on Saturday, there were literally about 7 seats left in the house, and I managed to bag my seat. I don't know how, but somehow it actually managed to manifest in my favor. And Sisu, which was for the longest time my favorite movie of 2023, has now been usurped by Godzilla Minus One. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, and I didn't really break down too much about why this film is fucking awesome, but it certainly was. And yeah, this Godzilla, you don't feel sorry for him, you just want to see his ass getting kicked. Like the way it builds up tension and just gets your veins pumping in your blood, you know what I mean? I just love that kind of shit. And ladies and gentlemen, if I had to give Godzilla Minus One a rating out of 10, it it is the perfect 10, like Jennifer Connelly was back in the heyday. And on that one, folks, if you were me, and if I were you, and if you're not wearing your 70th anniversary Godzilla t-shirt like I am, then shame on you.
Oh, there's no way. That's impossible.
Godzilla. まさに神の化身ね。
I know exactly what you mean, my dear, because the earth moved for me like it did for you. Oh, Godzilla, give it to me, baby. Yes.
Godzilla.